Hi guys, I hope you're doing really well today. Today we're going to start on lesson 14, which is called Solving Inequalities. So remember yesterday we looked at inequalities, what they were, and how we kind of started learning how to solve inequalities. Today we're going to dive deeper into solving inequalities, meaning we have to make the inequalities from the information that we're given in the story problems. And then we have to solve those inequalities for the missing information, for the information that the problem is asking us for or to find. So let's jump right into the opening exercise. It says the annual county carnival is being held this summer and will last 5.5 days. Use this information and the other given information to answer each problem. You are the owner of the biggest and newest roller coaster called the Gentle Giant. The roller coaster costs $6 to ride. The operator of the ride must pay $200 per day for the ride rental and $65 per day for a safety inspection. If you want to make a profit of at least $1,000 a day, what is the minimum number of people that must ride the roller coaster? Write an inequality that can be used to find the minimum number of people, P, which must ride the roller coaster each day to make the daily profit. All right, so firstly, I need to figure out which information goes on the left side of my inequality and which information goes on the right. So since I'm trying to make at least $1,000 a day, I want to make greater than or equal to $1,000. So I'm going to add that greater than or equal to symbol in there. And then I'm also going to add the $1,000 on the right side of my inequality. So they're telling us to write an inequality that can be used to find the minimum number of people, P, which must ride the roller coaster each day to make the daily profit. So we said it costs $6 to ride the ride. So we've got $6 per person, and the operator of the ride must pay $200 for the ride rental. So that's going to come out of his profit. So we're going to subtract 200 from 6P because it's going to come out of his profit ultimately. And then he also has to pay $60 per day for a safety inspection. So $65 is also going to come out of his profit for the day. So he's trying to make at least $1,000 per day. So here's our inequality. It says 6P minus 200 minus 65 is greater than or equal to $1,000. So now we just have to go through and solve this inequality. And we're going to do that firstly by combining like terms. So if I take negative 200 and I subtract 65 from negative 200, I end up with 6P minus 265 is greater than or equal to 1,000. Now that I have that information, I am going to try to get P by itself. And in order to do that, I'm going to get rid of this negative 265 from the left side of my equation. So that means that I'm going to add 265 to both sides of my equation because whatever I do to one side, I have to do to the other. So now on the right side, I have 1,265. So I'm left with 6P is greater than or equal to 1,265. Now, I know that 6 is being multiplied by the P, so I'm going to divide. I'm going to do the opposite of multiplication, and I'm going to divide both sides of my inequality by 6 to get that P all by itself. So now my inequality says that P is greater than or equal to 1,265 divided by 6 is 210.8. Now I have to ask myself, does it make any sense to say that more than or equal to 210.8 people need to ride this roller coaster per day? Let me ask myself that in this next problem. It asks me to interpret the solution. So remember, my final inequality was P is greater than or equal to 210.83, and that 3 is repeated. So it doesn't make any sense for me to say that 210.8333333 people need to ride the roller coaster at least per day. if not more than that, in order for him to make at least $1,000. So I'm going to say at least, I'm going to round up, at least 211 people need to ride the roller coaster each day to make a profit of $1,000 per day. And I rounded up because if I had less than 200 people, if I had 210 people, it wouldn't be quite enough people to make $1,000 per day. So I need at least 211 people or more in order to make $1,000 per day. We're going to keep looking at problems like this throughout this lesson so that you guys can understand how to create these inequalities and then also how to solve them. So let's look at our next problem. It says a youth summer camp has budgeted $2,000 for the campers to attend the carnival. The cost for each camper is $17.95, which includes general admission to the carnival and 2 meals. The youth summer camp must also pay $250 for the chaperones to attend the carnival and $350 for transportation to and from the carnival. What is the greatest number of campers who can attend the carnival if the camp must stay within its budgeted amount? All right, so the camp has budgeted $2,000 or less for the campers to attend the carnival. So we're going to say $200 less than or equal to $2,000. Now, they're paying $17.95 per camper. So we're going to say $17.95 C. Plus, they're also paying $350 for transportation, and they're paying $250 for the chaperones. So we have this inequality that says $17.95 per camper plus $350 plus $250 has to be less than or equal to $2,000. So we're asked how many campers can attend this carnival, at least how many campers. So we're going to combine like terms firstly. So I'm going to add together 350 plus 250, and that gives me 600. So I'm left with $17.95 per camper plus 600 needs to be less than or equal to $2,000. Now, since that 600 is being added to the left side of my equation, since I'm trying to get C all by itself, I'm going to do the opposite of addition. And I'm going to subtract $600 from each side of my inequality. So minus 600. So now I have $17.95 C is less than or equal to 2,000 minus 600 is 1,400. So now that I have this information, I need to, so I see that $17.95 is being multiplied by C. So I'm going to do the opposite of multiplication, and I'm going to divide both sides of my inequality by $17.95. I'm dividing both sides of my inequality by $17.95. So that means that I can have less than or equal to 1,400 divided by $17.95 is 77.99. So I can have less than or equal to 77.99 campers. But I'm not going to say 77.99 campers because it doesn't make any sense to have 77.99 people. So I'm going to round down this time because I can't have more than 77.99 campers, but I can have less. So I'm going to say my answer is going to be less than or equal to 77 campers. So I can have at least 77 campers, but I can't have more than 77 campers. So the greatest number of campers who can attend the carnival if the camp must stay within its budgeted amount is 77 campers. Okay, let's look at example number 2. Example number 2 is a little bit different, and example number 3 will be even more different. So it says the carnival owner pays the owner of an exotic animal exhibit $650 for the entire time the exhibit is displayed. The owner of the exhibit has no other expenses except for a daily insurance cost. If the owner of the animal exhibit wants to make more than $500 in profits, so he wants to make more than, he doesn't want to make equal to, he wants to make more than, so I'm going to put a greater than $500 in profits for the 5.5 days, what is the greatest daily insurance rate he can afford to pay? So the carnival owner is paying him $650. And then from that $650, we need to figure out for the 5.5 days how much he can pay for his insurance each day. So I'm going to subtract 5.5i from that because that 5.5i is representing the 5.5 days that I'm going to pay that daily insurance rate. So now I have this inequality that says 650 minus 5.5i is greater than 500. So now I'm going to try to get I all by itself. So I see that $650 is a positive on the left side of my inequality. And I'm trying to get that I all by itself. So I'm going to do the opposite of addition, and I'm going to subtract $650 or $650 from both sides of my inequality. So on the right side of my inequality, I now have negative 150. So I'm left with negative 5.5i is greater than negative 150. And now, since that negative 5.5 is being multiplied by I, I'm going to do the opposite of multiplication, which is division. And I'm going to divide both sides of my inequality by negative 5.5. So I'm going to divide both of these by negative 5.5. And so that gives me an insurance rate greater than negative 150 divided by negative 5.5 is $27.27. So that means that the greatest daily insurance rate that he can afford to pay is $27.27. He cannot afford to pay more than that. He can afford to pay less than that, but if he wants to make $500 in profits in 5.5 days, he can only spend $27.27 per day on insurance. Okay, let's look at the final question, and then I will set you guys free to complete the exit ticket and problem set. It says several vendors at the carnival sell products and advertise their businesses. Shane works for a recreational company that sells ATVs, dirt bikes, snowmobiles, and motorcycles. His boss paid him $500 for working all of the days at the carnival, plus 5% commission on all of the sales made at the carnival. What was the minimum amount of sales Shane needed to make if he earned more than $1,500? I want to go back just for a minute. Make more than, okay. If he wants to earn more than $1,500 in profits. Got it. So his boss paid him $500. And then he's also making 5% commission. And remember, we represent 5% as a decimal as 0.05. So he's making 5% commission on his sales. So I need to know what the minimum amount of sales Shane needs to make if he earned more than $1,500. And that's why I have that greater than symbol there, because he's making more than $1,500. All right. So right now that 500 is being added to the left side of my equation. It is a positive. So I'm going to do the opposite of addition, and I'm going to subtract 500 from both sides of my inequality, minus 500. So I've got 1,000 on the right side of my inequality, and I've got 0.05s on the left side. So I want it greater than $1,000 right now. And since 0.05 is being multiplied by s, I'm going to do the opposite of multiplication, and I'm going to divide both sides of this inequality by 0.05 to get s all by itself. And so what I come up with is s needs to be greater than $20,000. So that means that the minimum amount of sales that Shane needed to make was $20,000. He could have made more than that, but not less. So $20,000 is the minimum amount of sales that Shane needed to make if he earned more than $1,500. So I know that this lesson was slightly short, but we are at the end. And so I would like you guys to go on to Google Classroom, complete the Go Formative exit ticket and problem set, and submit them both to me. And then be on the lookout for either a question or a poll for tomorrow so that I can count your attendance for the day. That's all you'll have to do tomorrow. So please make sure you're on the lookout for that. Please complete that. It will be very simple. I might ask you what your favorite type of cookie is. You just have to respond to my question or poll that I post on Google Classroom under Math tomorrow at some point so that I can count your attendance for the day. You guys have a wonderful weekend. I can't wait to see you all on Monday. Thank you.